This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. This is your host, Debbie. Welcome back to another episode of No Waco. I'm your host, Debbie, and today we have some very special guests here in the studio. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Lisa Korzal, and I am part owner of an Airbnb called Casa Blanca Waco.
Yay!
And I'm her executive assistant, Amin Korzal, here on behalf of Casa Blanca Waco. And thank you so much for having us, Debbie. We're thrilled to be here.
Yes, of course. I'm so glad to have you. So the first question I always ask my guests on the show is, what brought you to Waco? Or are you a Waco native? Tell me your Waco story.
Well, I will start because I'm mostly a Waco native. I graduated at a small town close to here and then came to Baylor and stayed around from there.
Wow.
I also...
You're wearing a Baylor shirt, so...
I am, yeah, big Baylor fan. Came here in 2001. I actually grew up overseas.
Wow.
Southern Spain, from Moroccan heritage, and got connected with Baylor in the late 90s and applied, came in 2001 as a freshman, fell in love with the community, fell in love with Waco, with Baylor, and just found it very easy to call Waco home. And so never left. I like to tell people I couldn't find a ride back, so I stuck around. But met my wife. We just celebrated 17 years.
Wow! Congratulations.
Last month, and thank you. And love raising a family here. Love being a part of the community. So
Yes, and I'm so excited to have you guys here today because you guys are also entrepreneurs. So tell me all about it.
Yeah, well, this is our first go at this, but we just opened an Airbnb called Casa Blanca Waco. And so far, so good and so fun. So we're excited to be here to tell people about it. And what else?
yeah, it's a very exciting time. You know, Waco has just experienced so much in tourism and in growth, and especially in the time that we've lived here, it's only gotten tremendously better.
Yeah.
And so we had the idea. We said, Waco's getting a lot of traction in this market. You know, a lot of visitors coming to town, and we were thinking, how can we kind of blend our love for hospitality and turn that into a business. I love hosting personally. I love having people over to our home. I love sharing hospitality with them. That's a very big part of my upbringing and kind of my fabric. And so we said, what if we were just dreaming? I mean, this must have been years ago.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
We stayed in an Airbnb, I think, somewhere, and we just got to thinking, what if we
put
our own... Yeah, we could do this and put our own kind of flavor to it and bring it to our city and see what happens. So COVID kind of got in the way of those plans.
As it did.
As so many other plans, but we finally found an opportunity and decided to take the plunge.
Yeah.
So, and I would add to that he has taught me to love hosting and hospitality, and so I feel like it was the right time for us to jump in because we had kind of gotten our feet wet in hosting in homes, and so it was a good opportunity for us to jump in and at the right time for us and at the right time, in the economy really, but for us to jump in and try it out. But especially after we'd stayed at a few, we thought for sure we could do this. We know we can manage this, and it really would be so fun, and we know we could give people a quality experience.
Yes, I love that. And your story resonates with so many other people that are like, I came here for school and I just never left, and I love the community so much, and it was just growing so much. But I know your Moroccan culture is so important, and you really wanted to infuse that into the Airbnb. So tell me about that.
No, that's exactly right, Debbie. We were trying to come up with a name, and we were trying to decide kind of. We didn't want to go all out theme. We wanted to have a theme, but not have that be the main driver of the. We wanted our hospitality to be the main driver.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted the guest experience to be the reason why people booked with us. And so there is no other hospitality like Moroccan hospitality and really North African hospitality. And so we came up with Casa Blanca, which is a city in Morocco, and as kind of a tribute to my roots, but really the hospitality that comes from that part of the world.
Yeah.
So the house, it is white, which adds to the
Casa Blanca.
Casa Blanca, exactly. And we actually purchase things from North Africa to be part of the house. We have touches of Morocco throughout the house. It's not, like I said, it's not overbearing, but it's subtle enough to when you walk in, you feel like, okay, I'm somewhere special. I'm somewhere a little bit more unique. And so that's where the name came from. That's where the influence is derived from, Casablanca, Morocco, and we're just so happy with having that here in town.
Yeah, and I would only add that because I have Texas roots, that warm and welcome feel that I experienced when we would go. I mean, growing up to another friend's house, like it's an open door. I feel like growing up in the country, that's how you feel when you walk into someone's house, is that you just feel immediately warm and welcome. And so I feel like we kind of combine that. Just everybody feels warm and welcome when they walk in, and yet there are touches. So if people know anything about Morocco, they'll see the things that they know about.
Yeah.
And then we also made sure to put some things that are like classic Moroccan. And so like there's a dish called a tagine, which is such a popular dish, and we put a cookbook there so that people can use it. Actually, I don't know. So
they
far,
will.
tried, I don't think. But
takes a little courage.
It takes a little courage, but it just if you really wanted to try something out and be Moroccan for a day, you totally could do that, or just to feel the classic feel or learn even a little bit about that Moroccan heritage. But yeah, it's really a good combination of that Moroccan hospitality and the Texas warm and welcome open door.
That's right. That's exactly right. We recently hosted some missionaries from Morocco who came here to Waco for a couple of weeks. They were here for a couple of weeks, and their comment to us was, when we walked in, it felt like we were back in Morocco. I mean, we just immediately kind of saw the touches, and so that's the kind of feel we're going for. We want all of our guests to experience that North African hospitality with a Texas twist, I guess, if you will. Yeah. So
I love that. And I know you guys are focusing so much on hospitality and that open door mentality. Do you feel like that translates to what it's been like in Waco or starting this as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I would say so far we've gotten some good feedback from everybody, feeling like everything was seamless start to finish about how they could walk in, what did they need to get in and get comfortable immediately. Everything has been so smooth so far, and so that's what our hope is. And really, I think about, when I'm setting it for the guests, I think about what do I want when I walk in? What would make me feel so welcomed here? And that so far has translated really well. And there's so many places and things about just feeling at home. Everybody has a place to sit down, and so we feel like we've kind of created a lot of opportunities for people to gather together, to spend time together in different spots in the house or spots outside, and just feel that current Texas heat, but also just that real warmth of being together too. And that was our idea. So yeah, I think we've so far done pretty well at that, and it's been we've gotten some good feedback about how seamless that has been.
Yeah, Debbie, we opened our doors July 1st of this year. The reviews that have been coming in have been very encouraging, and we just hope to continue to host more and more people, both from Waco and from out of Waco, from outside of Waco. We know that a lot of people have family who come into town and need a place to stay. We also love having people in Waco doing a staycation, and wanting to stay local. We love that. The location of Casa Blanca Waco is very central to all that Waco has to offer, and it just makes it super convenient for whether you're coming from somewhere else, the West Coast, East Coast, or if you're coming from, Hewitt, Woodway, Lacey Lakeview, wherever you're coming from. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah, I love that so much. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. And now for a word from our sponsors.
Oh yeah,
Loud.
I'm back,
Okay.
baby. Woo!
Hi, I'm Trey Cooper,
I'm Solomon Cooper.
and we're the hosts of the Kid Stays in the podcast.
It's a cross-generational discussion about movies. Two perspectives. I'm the young one, he's the old one, and we have
I
some
don't
fun arguments.
I don't think we need to say it that way.
You're old.
Anyway, whenever you tune in to listen to the Kid Stays in the podcast, you can expect to hear a very, very intelligent discussion of a film from me and a really imbecilic perspective from Solomon, who hates anything that wasn't made after 2007.
They're very rude to me.
We tried to watch a movie from 1985 once, and he really hated it. Tune into our show. Hear me roast Solomon week after week.
Find us anywhere you get your podcast or on roguemedianetwork.com.
Hi, I'm Christine, and I'm an alcoholic. Here's the deal. Everybody knows somebody that has suffered from the disease of addiction. I want to invite you to listen to Purpose-Driven Sobriety, where we have real conversations with real people that have suffered from the disease of addiction and have gone on to thrive. Here, we shine light into the darkness that is addiction. You can find Purpose-Driven Sobriety on Facebook or anywhere you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Sarah,
And I'm Carter.
and this is Some of Our Thoughts.
We're two Southern sommeliers, and we want to share everything we love and know about wine. We started hanging out during quarantine and cooking and drinking and listening to music, and we just thought this would be a great way to bring everything we know to you guys.
We will make wine knowledge and food pairings easy and approachable. So put on your favorite vinyl, grab your favorite glass of wine, tune into our show, and let's have some fun.
Wine and
vinyl.
So check us out on roguemedianetwork.com or wherever you get your favorite podcast. We'll be talking about a lot.
And now, back to the episode. And we're back. So we're just talking about how you guys got started doing your Airbnb and the Moroccan hospitality behind it, as well as just kind of your background and what you guys have decided to bring to Waco, and just bringing that culture here to Waco is so important. One of the first things I love to ask when we get back from break is why Waco, or what do you love about Waco?
That's a great question. Well, Waco was town. Like, I'm using quotations.
Go to
going
town?
to
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
From where I came from. And so, I mean, growing up in the 90s and coming to Waco often, I mean, there wasn't as much going on. And then, but you know, there was movies, bowling, and restaurants. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the highlight. But since then, and I feel like even in college, downtown was not very developed at all. But it was still that community feel that, like, everybody still knew each other, even though the town was growing. And so we loved that. As we graduated and got married and kind of decided, are we staying here, are we not? We just felt like this was already home, and knew so many people were so connected to the community. And that's what Waco has, that other cities, for whatever reason, just don't have that kind of close-knit feel, even though the city's a good size. And so I feel like what I love about Waco is that I can trust that if we invite someone to come visit, they're going to probably run into someone friendly.
Yeah.
And I think that that's unique to small, medium-sized town feel. And I also love now that there's a lot more to do than
Yes,
movies,
very
bowling,
much
and
so.
restaurants. But definitely that there is so many good things going on in Waco,
Yeah.
and wholesome, family-friendly fun to be had. And I think since we have kids, and there's so much for our kids to do that we enjoy. We know other people would enjoy it too. And so it's been a joy for us to be able to start this and be so confident that if we provide a wonderful space, a welcoming space, that they're going to have a great time. I don't have to worry that they're not going to find something to do. But if they don't know ahead of time what they're going to do in Waco, we definitely provide a little book that tells them, here's the highlights where you can start if they just have a few days to see our town. And in that whole time, I think that I feel pretty confident they're going to run into friendly people. They're going to, the door's going to be held open for them. They're going to experience the joy of that small town feel in our nicely growing city of Waco.
I love that, and that's why we have the podcast, is so people can figure out what to do in town, how to know Waco, obviously.
Awesome.
Exactly. and for us, we have the benefit of having lived here several decades. We know, we remember what it was like. We know what it's like now, and Waco just keeps getting better. And I love that it has its own personality and its own culture and its own kind of vibe. And I think what makes it so unique and so wonderful are the people who live here. And I'll never forget one of my favorite stories to tell. I'll never forget. When I was a freshman at Baylor, I remember breaking down on LaSalle Avenue, and I just recall 3 different cars pulled over to ask if they could help me. Ask if they could, take me somewhere or get me something or whatever it was. And that doesn't happen everywhere. I think that's a uniquely Waco thing. I think people here really are willing to help, and I think that has made Waco what it is today, just a very welcoming, hospitable city. And that's what we're hoping to bring with Casa Blanca Waco, is that continue that tradition of wonderful hospitality and inviting people into our home. So
Yet it's still easy to get around, and we don't face a lot of traffic. So there's also that plus.
People say that all the time, but then people are like, 35 needs to be fixed.
Yeah. And watch out for those one-way streets.
I know.
We do still have them, folks.
I have still turned on almost a few of them. Right over here on 4th Street. No, I'm kidding.
Nothing wakes you up more than turning on the one-way street and seeing a car coming right at you. Like, okay.
And they still just like politely honk at you and like, oh, you're going the wrong way, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, with that, what is something you guys would like to see more of in Waco other than I-35 getting fixed?
Sure.
I personally, I would really love to see more of our Riverwalk get developed. We have a beautiful river that goes through Waco, a legendary river, the Brazos, and I would really enjoy seeing that corridor kind of get developed into something. It's great now. You can go for walks, you can ride your bike, but I think there's a great opportunity there to have another landmark right there on the banks of the river, just to add more of that Waco flair right there on the river.
I love that.
Yeah. And I think I'm more thinking about people. I think I would love to have more community events and things that people come around. I know we love to do the Brazos nights and stuff like that, where it just kind of feels like you just sit out there on the yard with all your neighbors, it feels like, and the 4th of July fireworks and just those types of things. I feel like just keep that community feel going, and so I'd love to see more of those year round.
I love that so much. And then you guys have only been open since July 1st, so it's so important just getting that culture out there and enhancing the diversity here in our community. Yes. What are some of your goals by the end of the year? We're almost done. We're over halfway through.
It's just flown by.
And it could be qualitative or quantitative, whatever. But yeah.
You want to go first?
I think qualitatively, I would like to keep getting great feedback. So far, we've had all top ratings. So I would like to continue getting that feedback.
When you get your
from all
first
of our
1 star,
guests.
let us know. We got a podcast for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hopefully we'll not be on that.
Okay.
But,
That's our goal.
That's
Podcast to not
that's
be on.
one goal is to keep getting the top ratings for it, but also just to keep being actively serving and aware of what our guests need, and changing if we need to, responsive if we need to be, and so just qualitatively.
I love that.
Yeah, I think what sets us apart is just that foundational value of hospitality and being a welcoming space. There's a lot of welcoming aspects and Airbnbs in Waco, but we really want to be the one that stands out as a home away from home. And when people walk in, we really want them to feel like they're in their home and that they feel very comfortable and just ready to explore all that Waco has to offer because they're rested, they're comfortable, and they're happy. And that's kind of our desire with Casa Blanca, is to make it just the premier hospitable place to stay.
Yeah. And quantitatively, I think we would love to be booked, every night of the week. But I would take it if it were just weekends and make sure that people are coming to visit Waco and have a great time while they're here.
Do you have like a number goal? Like, I want 200 people to stay in our Airbnb by the end of the year.
I mean, there's always percentages that we can talk about, occupancy percentages.
You don't have to get that specific. It's fine.
Realistically, right now we're having a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
It's actually we love having our coffee in the morning and saying, wow, this person booked us and they're coming from California
Each person a different story.
or Wyoming to come visit Waco.
Wow.
We're like, holy smokes, what planet are we living on?
Yeah.
Where we have people visiting us from all over the world wanting to experience what Waco has. I mean, the secret's out, and it's just exciting. We have a lot of fun hearing. They'll contact us later and say, we just really loved staying there, and you really made us feel like we were Wacoans. We just felt like we were at home. So
I always tell people Wacoan is a title they have to claim. So
That's right.
No, it absolutely is. Oh, I think we should. Absolutely. And Lisa and I, we're proud Wacoans, and I think that comes through when we get excited seeing people coming and saying, "Wow, this is great."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And with that, it sounds like, again, you guys are just so community driven and people oriented. Is there anybody you want to shout out that's helped you along this journey? I would say you can shout out your mom, your dog, or your grandma, or all of the above.
I'm going to shout out our kids. We have three little kids who are awesome cheerleaders. They're part of this journey also. They help us clean Casa Blanca in between guests, and they've been part of this journey with us, and they're also very excited. They encouraged us to get a hot tub for the.
I'm encouraging you to get a hot tub.
And they're having they just really inspirational. So shout out to the kiddos, and we love them.
Yeah, and I will say they are very honest critics. So
They are.
If we
We're not
do
gonna let them
anything
put any
that
reviews
doesn't
on.
work for them, we know
Yeah.
it's probably not going to fly.
Yeah.
But I think I'd also like to shout out my mom. She's she's my sidekick and helps me a lot balancing, hosting and the kids. So it's
The
a
biggest
big help.
job.
Yes.
She's awesome.
Yeah. So
Mimi.
she's
Shout out to
helping
Mimi.
out a lot.
Yes, I love that. And of course, give us all of your social media, your website, where we can find you, find more information. Give us all the things.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're on Instagram at Casa Blanca Waco, and for anybody interested in making a booking, you can do that at casablancawaco.com, and you can also find us on all the popular OTAs, online travel agents, so Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, all those guys. So yeah, check us out, follow us. We post specials on there.
Yeah.
And we love to stay connected with you on Instagram. So
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Is there anything else you want to share with our listeners today?
I just want to say thank you so much for having this. I know that this podcast is such a great help to both local Wacoans, natives, and those of us who love to know more about our city that has grown and changed in front of us, but also to those people that are coming from outside and need some good tips before they get to a location. And so just thank you for having this, because we'll definitely recommend it for people to listen to and get some tips themselves on how to make the most of their time.
Yes.
But I would just like to say that this has so far been a really fun journey. And so far it's our only one. So we would love to focus on making this a high quality experience for everybody that comes.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you, Debbie. This the incredible service that you're offering, not just the community, but local entrepreneurs also. And we are just proud Wacoans, wanting to make Waco a better place. And we just love being partners in that. So, Casa Blanca Waco, make a Waco awesome.
Book them up.
Yeah.
Check it out. Well, thank you guys again, and it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
It was
Debbie.
really a pleasure being here.
Find us everywhere on all social media platforms, KNOW_Waco. Check us out at roguemedianetwork.com, and we're on YouTube under Rogue Media Network. Check out nowaco.com.
This has been a Rogue Media Network